Why have so many Jewish people died from coronavirus in the UK? Figures from the Board of Deputies of British Jews say 458 Jewish people have lost their lives to the virus since the pandemic began. Some of the reasons for that are demographic. Many Jews are older and often live in big urban areas. But has the often social nature of Judaism also played a role? In a moment, we will talk to the President of the Board of Deputies of British Jews. First, John McManus reports from the heart of the Jewish community in Stamford Hill in North London.
YY was very special to us and our family.
Remembering a dearly loved brother, another victim of the COVID-19 virus, which has hit Britain's Jewish community particularly hard. Yankee Rothschild shared a love of singing with his brother Yechiel Yosef, known as YY. The 20-year-old lived independently in the ultra-Orthodox or Haredi Jewish community of Stamford Hill in North London. Then one evening on the phone, YY told Yankee he was feeling unwell. It was to be their last conversation before he was rushed to hospital.
My parents were crying. Their hands were tied. They couldn't do anything. Their son, they couldn't even go into hospital to hug him, to say goodbye properly.
YY is one of hundreds of deaths amongst all denominations of Judaism, which appear to be out of proportion to the community's small size. This cemetery in Hertfordshire, just north of London, has been here for more than 70 years. Thousands of Britain's Jewish community have been laid to rest here. But staff say that over the weeks of March, they saw a sudden and unexpected spike in the number of funerals, many of them the result of COVID-19.
At the moment it's quiet, but in the busy period we were having around 10 to 15 a day for 6 days a week.
This is a tube or mask, so two ways obviously to get the oxygen.
Other parts of the community have also raced to adapt. The Ezra Amarpa charity in Stamford Hill has been supporting the health needs of the community for decades.
Literally from hospital beds if they need it, down to crutches.
In the last few months, it's bought dozens of oxygen machines to lend to recovering coronavirus patients when they're discharged from hospital. But there have been accusations that some Jewish people have been slow to change their lifestyles in the face of virus warnings.
I don't know anyone who doesn't know someone who's died.
Yehudis Fletcher is a community advocate and activist. She says that some influential Jewish leaders fail to set a good example, but insists a much larger blame lies with the authorities.
There are health inequalities that are known to Public Health England about individual BAME communities, and that none of that was news, and it should have been obvious that our communities were going to be affected in a different way. Nobody took the step to say that these communities should be warned in advance. Nobody took control of the situation.
There are still people in the community, still families who are still mourning.
The message of this pandemic has been to keep healthy by staying apart. But one organisation says that for traditionally large Haredi families who often live in cramped conditions, that was impossible.
There are families who have every age group in the house, and that means you have little children all the way from 1 year old going to somebody in the house which is possibly 60 years old or above that age. That did contribute towards, the virus being more aggressive in some parts of the community, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, even as he continues to mourn his brother, Yankee says YY's life was a gift.
He brought light. He was a beacon of light in the whole community, not just in our family. He brought light to people.
John McManus, BBC News.